een podcast van Zomeropleidingen. Welkom dat jullie kijken, hartstikke leuk. Ik zit hier samen met Lisa Schumacher en zij is mijn teacher. Heel dankbaar dat ze er is en heb ontzettend veel van haar geleerd. En in oktober komt ze ook naar Nederland, naar ons planten in Westvoort. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
So grateful that you are here.
I feel very welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And I would like to ask you a few questions. Well, maybe the Dutch students, they are coming. A lot of students are also coming to your retreat in October, and maybe for them it's good to tell a little bit about yourself so they get to know you. So, who's Lisa?
Who's Lisa?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know where to start because I feel like who I am is this meeting.
Yeah.
It's this meeting in love, self to self, in this moment, and it doesn't exclude the human aspect of everything, and nature and circumstances, and so I just heard Papaji say, "I am that."
Mm.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Really, it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, I do have a story I could tell, or relationships that I have, and all that, but finally, it's the same story we're all telling, really.
Yeah.
Just different versions of it.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm really here to meet you, to meet myself.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Want in October you will come for the retreat, and well, a lot of students are also very curious what that will do for them, or what that will hold them. Can you tell a bit about that?
About the retreat?
Yes.
It really is about meeting yourself. And it's a mystery how that happens. It's a mystery how I met my teacher, Gangaji, and when I met her, the question I had was, what is love? And is it real?
Yeah.
And so I discovered the truth about that it's alive in you. And you are expressing that in your life, naturally. And so this coming together, we call it satsang, which is a meeting in truth. And this coming together is about uncovering our ideals about what that is, the illusion of who we think we are and who we think the other is, and what does that mean?
Yeah, because there is a lot of suffering in not following the truth. What do you see about that? You also write beautiful poems about that, I discovered. Tell a bit more about that.
Well, it isn't to try and escape the suffering or repress it, and it is also to see how you act it out in an attempt to remedy it for yourself, how your particular kind of suffering through your identity, who you think you are, is acted out, whether it's conscious or unconscious. And so, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your questions.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
It's just a discovery of what's really alive, what you really want for yourself in your life, and how, whether you're being true to that or not. And satsang is an opportunity to recognize the living truth of yourself, but it's also an opportunity to see how you betray yourself one way or another through misidentification.
Yeah. And how do you see that people are betraying themselves? You lived it, or you stayed here in Amsterdam. What do you see?
Well, I can see for myself how I betray myself. And it really comes out of ignorance. It's like this practice of ignoring when there is a moment of of recognizing that something's off.
Yeah.
And yet rather than face face that fully and be willing to face it fully, which is to not move in that. Yeah, everyone's afraid of that.
Yeah. It's beautiful. You mentioned also the movements. Well, a few students, or a lot of students already know a bit about the movements. Can you tell a bit more about that? Because it's all about not moving in a direction or towards.
Well, it's really discovering stillness, actually. Because even in the not moving, which is where we start, and this is so beautiful because Gangaji talks about this moment when Babaji said stop, and the willingness that she had to actually discover what that means for herself in her life. And she tells the story of how she tried to stop this way, she tried to stop this way, she tried to stop this way. So to discover what that means for yourself, and what helps you to discover what stopping is for you is to discover how you move.
Yeah.
And there's been, in the training that we offer through the Women's School and through the Enneagram, we've discovered there's really 3 basic ways of moving.
Yeah.
Against, in a fight, toward in seduction,
Mm-hmm.
or away in fear.
Yeah, moving away.
Yeah, moving away.
Beautiful.
And they're cloaked and veiled so that moving away can actually look like moving towards. Moving against can actually look like not moving at all. Moving towards can look like love. So it's really, there's this deepening of your natural intelligence as you start to pay attention. And as you start in the willingness to really just stop for a moment and see what's going on. So you're no longer ignoring, and it just deepens.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
No unnecessary pain or suffering.
Yeah, are you ready to stop your unnecessary suffering? Are you ready to notice how you move and what the ramifications of that are? Repercussions actually is the word I wanted to use.
Yeah, beautiful. And I was also very inspired to say that love room. That was the first retreat I had. Met you there. Let love room. Love is for you in everything. Can you tell us more about that? Because it's, I think, for the students and the people who are watching also so beautiful to hear about this discovery.
Let love room.
Yeah.
It's really the recognition that is actually who you are. That you are love itself. And we have an idea of what love is. Find out. This is the path that I came into it, which was I didn't know what love was. I had tried being loving. I still try being loving. That's like it's like a habit, How can I help? How can I serve? What needs to be done here? And who's going to help me, lead me in a certain way so that I can embrace and help and not harm.
Yeah.
But that overlooks this one who wants to be loving, this one who wants to be in service.
Yeah.
That overlooks the possibility of the mystery of love acting you, taking your life, using your life. And the possibility to actually surrender to that unknown and sometimes terrifying unfolding of this love, which is actually indefinable.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's been my journey from love, from the discovery when I met my master Gangaji, and my heart caught on fire, and I could not turn from it. By some grace.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was asking for. I was asking from inside the suffering of being a fake and not knowing what love is and being weak and not hating myself for that. So it's turned around now. It's like, even though there's still great challenges and there's still much, much, much to be seen, there's still ego inflation, there's still ego contraction and suffering. That's life. That's the breathing of life. Expansion, contraction, expansion. What is the essence of life? What holds it all? And who are you? Beautiful, who am I? Papaji, I am that. Not taking it on like a new something to put on, but the truth of that, the living truth of that, it's a mystery, and will remain so.
And I also spoke about this contraction and deflation and inflation. Well, maybe it's good for the students to also hear about that. How does it? How do people recognize it, and how do they feel it and sense it?
Yeah,
I think it's beautiful that they really recognize it and discover it.
Well, I think I just did explain somewhat of it, and it's really this. I think actually before I met Gangaji, and my heart was kind of on fire, and my life just burned in that. There were these really high highs and low lows. There was a lot of drama in my life. There was a lot of, different things that I felt like I was like in a pinball machine, and I was just being bounced around inside of that and trying to cope with that. And that's a life of ignorance in a way. That's a life of not knowing what's possible in the truth of yourself. And in the discovery of the truth of yourself, you recognize how you act out certain things for ego, to feed your ego, so that you can feel happy. But that's just a temporary kind of happiness. That's relative happiness. And that happiness is simply a state that comes and goes. Like we're happy when we're having an ice cream cone. We're unhappy when it falls on the ground. And we might even get more unhappy and say, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me all the time? That's the other side of inflation. That's deflation. You know? And there's somebody to blame for that, whether it's yourself or the person who bumped into you and knocked your ice cream out of your hand, and stupid tourists or whatever, you know? So that's the cycle of suffering that we cycle in and out of many times in a day that can be solved.
And I met many people who are awake, and I think a lot of people I know just have this life of suffering, and then they are totally lost, and then they're like, okay, oh my God, I'm totally willing to let go of everything, and then they stop. But then, to stay true to themselves, I hear that often that is something they want to challenge, or just want to fix, or just want to grab it, keep it.
Yeah, it's common. It's mind that wants to keep. Mind that objectifies that awakening and says, okay, I'm going to do whatever someone tells me, or I'm going to continue to try and keep this. But this is what happened to me when I met Gangaji, and it's actually written about in many texts of this great disillusionment, where you have tried everything and you have reached the end and you're finished. There's nothing left, and you have no. It's almost like at the time I met her, I felt worthless. I mean, I had tried everything, and I was ready. So disillusionment is sacred, and to really, by some grace or support, you can really be fully disillusioned in this moment. And then any picking up just serves, picking up the story again, or choosing habits again, which we all do. We all get tricked. That just serves to deepen the surrender.
And this surrender, does it or stops?
You tell me. Right?
No,
It's endless.
No,
and
it's
it's
endless.
exquisite.
Yes.
Then the story of suffering of your life, or any challenges that come, and any suffering that is extracted, becomes a teaching story.
Yeah.
And it serves the awakening of all being.
Yeah. More of that.
Yes.
Well, what are your challenges in this life? Or who, I know Garnet is your inspiration, and Papaji, of course, and Mila. And what are your challenges now, and what is your, where do you learn things from?
Well, I've really learned a lot by becoming a teacher in the Little School.
Yeah.
Working with others with the desire to transmit authentically what it is to be a true friend in the world, to be a true friend to yourself, and the willingness to burn in the betrayal of yourself, and in front of people, not just privately, but with others who are also keenly attentive to their own burning, to their own betrayal, to their own deepening.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just my own, thing anymore. It actually is part of a collective, and that collective is growing. And so, the challenge for me has really been to just surrender to that and stay true, not to surrender and give in or surrender, because my tendency, happens to be just kind of, I can be pulled in by stronger energies, and I can betray myself, and that turns out to be a betrayal to others, and it's very painful.
Mm-hmm.
So to just stop there and let it come in and open to all of it, and bear the pain of self-betrayal. And the suffering that it causes, even later for the rest of your life. Because even if, we're all betraying in some way, even the Mother Earth, So if we really could do better. All of us, every single day, everything we throw away, and this is just a reflection of our own self-betrayal. How we could continue to do that, and ask for the Father, the big corporate man or the government to fix it for us. It's time now for us to take full responsibility, and that starts with you taking full responsibility for yourself.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's also, I read your poem. You write a beautiful poem. I met a lot of students also who are very, very sensitive, and they see this. Well, when you turn on the TV and you see all this pain and horror and things like that, you say just bear it all. I'm just wondering how can they deal with it and everything you see? Of course, you take your own responsibility.
Yes. Fully take responsibility. Just with yourself. Just start there. And turn off the TV. Sometimes turn off the TV. A lot of the news, Gamiji was just saying, good news doesn't sell. So where is the good news? Can you be the good news? Are you willing to be the good news? That's what we're being called for now. That's what I'm being called for now. Even when the bad news of my own betrayal and betrayal of others arises out of ignorance, are you still willing to be the good news? To stay true, to trust in love, and to be set free by the truth.
I really see also people who are graduate in the school are also a bit scared because we just learn them to spread the love and be the love itself. But then, well, in this big world, just be the light and just be
Yes.
this love. It's just they're also scared for that.
Yes. That's a challenge to discover what's truly trustworthy, even in the face of terror.
Yeah.
And this is about the movement again.
Yeah.
It comes back to this willingness to discover what stop means for you.
Yeah, and surrender. Every moment, the willingness and surrender,
Yes.
of course.
And to actually ask yourself, well, who am I?
Yeah.
Really earnestly. Who are you? This is for all of us, and this is the awakening that's happening today on this planet. Throughout all species and all beings. We're the ones on the top. So it's so important for us to discover who we really are, finally.
Yeah. And even that deepens.
Yes, it's not capturable by mind, by thought.
Mm.
That's part of the problem, is that it can be idealized and then marketed.
Yeah.
But hey, it's better than the opposite.
Yeah. Because I think it's like this 1% of the whole world who's will stay really true, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know the percentages. I just give my life.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, me too. You know.
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah. So if people want to meet you in October, it can happen with us, and also in October in Amsterdam. You travel around the world. What do you see with different people, and where can we meet you and all this?
Well, with different people, I think really what happens for me is I actually, and I don't mean that. This is kind of radical to say, but because everyone thinks it means something different, but really I fall in love. I really do. And I can't help it. And that was my problem when I met Gamaji. I kept falling in love, not just with individuals, but I am in love. I'm in love. And I can't help it. And I'm kind of a fool in that way. But I don't care. It's time that love rules on this planet. It's time it reigns supreme. And I don't even want to idealize that or conceptualize it. I just know that's what my life's about. And so that's what happens. I'm meeting love itself in you and your students and the people on the train and everything. And I give myself to that.
Yeah.
And like next week I'm going to go to Paris, and I love meeting people. I love meeting new people. I actually would love to meet everyone. Yeah. And I'm not, there are some horrible people. There are some really, really horrible people on this planet. I can meet that. Yeah. Without being pulled down into the darkness, thinking that if I don't go down there, that I can't serve. Yeah. I don't need to go into that. I can stay here and meet my own self and everything.
Yeah. It's by taking every day or every second, every moment to make this choice. Stay true. And not by doing.
Yeah. It takes you.
It takes you. Yeah. Well, let me see if I have another question, because we're so hooked in it. It's beautiful. Well, you are a teacher at the Hele school. What did you learn there? What did you discover there?
I think I said before that it's really the Hele school is really founded on this principle of being a true friend to yourself and in the world. And in order for that to occur, the transmission of that to be really powerful, you learn how to be in rapport.
Yeah.
And both of those elements are, I don't know what to call it, both of those teachings require your own willingness. First, to be a true friend to yourself.
Mm.
And in rapport, it's like you have a quiet mind and an open heart. So just that, if you just discover that for yourself, and that's what we're essentially, as the teachers in the Living School, that is what we are essentially in all of it teaching, all of it displaying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our deepening ourselves as well. It's this learning we all experience together, because it's very intimate actually, to be in rapport with yourself and with the other, supposed other.
Yeah.
And then we teach skillful means how to work with trance within that sacred space. Really, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess that's what I could say more about it.
Yeah, we meet each other very often, and we also speak about this sacred space. Can you tell people more about it to really see how important it is for them also to be truly met?
Yes. Sacred space for me is, it's where you meet each other in privacy and confidentiality. And as a therapist, because there's a therapist-client role, willing to be a true friend with a quiet mind and an open heart, I'm not trying to make you do anything.
No.
I recognize that you have your own resources in yourself.
Yeah.
And whatever comes between us is seen as a story, an illusion, actually. Not that it's not absolutely, not to diminish it, because the stories we tell from our past and the trigger of that is essential for that trigger to become something that is a deep learning and teaching story that reveals the truth of yourself. The possibility that no matter what you come through, no matter what's occurred in your life, you're innocent and whole and fresh, and you can give yourself to that, no matter what. It's like we have, through the Gandhi Foundation, she has this prison program.
Yeah.
These men have committed horrible crimes. They're in for life. And they're recognizing this essential truth that is your birthright, that you are free and whole and untouched. And your life has potential even within prison, whether it's a penitentiary or whether it's the prison of your own personal suffering, for true liberation and discovery of who you are, really. Truly. So that's what sacred space is. And that you don't break that bond with your client. It's not even your client. You're not doing anything for them. You don't have anything to give them. They're not giving you anything. You just meet yourself.
And the other, the same heart.
Yes. It's a great teaching, it's a great learning as you become a therapist, as you get in this relationship.
A lot of students are, they already know this quiet mind and an open heart, and I often get the question, how do I do that?
How do you do it?
For me,
Yeah, how do you
just stay true to myself, to this love, and the willingness to stay open.
Beautiful.
And not follow anything. Just stay there.
Yes. so happy for you in the world, Marjolein.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, you really said so beautiful things and so beautiful explanation. You really touched me. And while Ilona is filming right now, yeah, it really touches. Yeah. We want to add something on this interview. Something more.
I just feel grateful for the opportunity. I never would have imagined my life could. I would never imagine this.
No.
This possibility that my life, my just regular, ordinary life, could come out of the ignorance of identification as a somebody who needs to do something to be happy, and keep searching and searching and searching over and over again, and seeming happiness comes and goes because it's a state.
Yeah.
And that I could land at the feet of Gandhi, and she could wake me up from a nightmare. So I'm very grateful that she called on me, not only as a teacher and mentor, but that you're asking for this for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so grateful. You know,
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
It's the same. Thank you.
Yeah, and everyone who's watching, I hope you really enjoyed this interview. And Lisa's coming to our place in October, and the open evening is for everyone, so you can send a message. We will put down the date already, and the Saturday is only for the students from zomeropleidingen. So if you would like to join, then I'd like to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Podcast van zomeropleidingen.